Alright, y'all, so I'm gonna just hop on real quick and show y'all how to install Node and npm at the same time. And I'm just gonna spell it out here. Node.js install, it even pops up. Node.js. Alright, and I'll put some description down below with what Node is more technically. But for me, the way I understand it is that, well, one, Node.js right here, as you see it, it is a JavaScript runtime. And that just sounds really high level, technical, and doesn't really mean anything, you know, especially for a person who's just coming into the tech world, specifically the JavaScript world. So if I were to give you a real life example of kind of what Node.js means for me, I would say, to keep it just pretty like high level and simple, straight to the point, Node.js, it fetches code resources. It also, with npm, it stores code that allows you to execute certain things in your project to make your project quicker and easier on you as a person who's going to be leading this project, or the person who's going to be coding the project. You want to use these resources or these code libraries, aka like stores, to fetch some code that you can then use for your project. Or maybe you want to be the person who shares their code with the public, and the public can then use Node to read your code, to consume your code, but npm to publish your code that others will then consume. So I'm going to go ahead and download it. I'm not going to go over it for Windows users or for Linux users, to be honest, either. But on nodejs.org, you can find the download option that best suits you. I'm just going to go over it for Mac OS because that's what I'm using. But again, feel free to just follow the instructions on here for the type of operating system you're using. Alright then. So, Mac OS. I'm just going to move this out the way now. Now we're going to get started. Alright, so I'm going to download it from Mac OS. Alright, so I went ahead and downloaded it, and now I am opening it on my computer. It's just telling me what's inside of this download. See, this is the npm I was referring to earlier. So it's going to be downloading Node.js, and it's going to be downloading npm. Alright, let's continue. Read over the license agreement, very important. I've already read over it one time. I'm not going to read over it again, to be honest. I agree. We'll take that much space. Alright. And put your password in if you have to. And I'm going to move it to the trash. I'm not going to need that downloader again. Alright, so now let's test if we have Node.js. But because I did reinstall my Mac operating system, I'm just going to use Terminal is what it's called. If you're on Mac OS, If you're using an Apple computer, you can open up your terminal just like I did. Okay, terminal. And you can just find that within your applications. If you don't know how to find it, this is where you need to use that investigative skills to do self-research and to troubleshoot, because this is what it means when you're coming into this industry. You have to be somewhat of a self-starter as well. You have to be an investigator, a researcher, okay? So, yeah. Then I'm gonna sip some tea. Make sure y'all are drinking your tea this autumn if you're on the northern hemisphere. If you're on the southern hemisphere, still drink your tea. Y'all drink tea anyway on the south side, drink tea. Alright, so the terminal. Just real quick. You see here that, I'm going to open up real big. You see here that mine is called Chameleonaire. I should really switch out that M and put a B. Chameleonaire. But anyway, Chameleonaire at Camille's MacBook Pro, pretty much is what it is. And that's just like my computer name. Yours is going to be something different, I hope. But as well, your cursor is, your cursor may look different than mine. It could be like lime green, could be pink, red, it's just whatever color it is. If it's blinking, that's fine. But just make sure that it is featuring your cursor at some point. Alright, so let's make this bigger. You can do zoom manual, or I just use command and the plus sign a few times to make it go up. But I'll show you kind of. This is command right here, and this is the plus sign. It's just like make it go bigger. I might press it a few times so you can see the font a little better. And I'm going to press clear because it came down. And clear just literally, it means to get rid of all of the space that's ahead of the word clear. Whether it's space, whether it's text you have on your page. It's usually text. It just gives you kind of a reset to your screen. It just clears everything out. Alright, so first thing is we want to, you're going to see a lot in different technical documents, or docs they call it. You'll see a lot where they want you to verify that your download worked, because what we did when we went on to the website and downloaded Node.js, and we're on this site. Alright, so when we came over and download, we want to verify that our computer has it. And it's just like what I said earlier. It's kind of as if you were going into your Finder, or for Windows, I think they call it Windows. It's been so long since I've used it. But essentially, it's kind of like jumping through your computer and finding different things. So on your computer, somewhere there's going to be like a Node.js download. And they gave us the path. And I'm trying to say all of this in very simple terms. So that's why I'm going to take some time to think about the words that are coming out of my mouth, so that it's not so technical all at once, We just want to ease into it and think of it in real world concept with real world words. So, but what I'm going to do is verify my download word. So, this screen, again, like I said, is kind of the same as this screen. All it is that you're doing it without seeing these cute little icon buttons. But it will expose you to the same thing. And this terminal, it does so much. It can I'll show you some more examples, but let's first verify that we have Node on there. And the name for Node is going to be Node, as opposed to me verifying it by doing this command. And I know at first when I was getting into even learning terminal or learning anything about code, I always questioned, well, why is it -v? And where would how would I realistically know that this needed a -v in order for it to work? It's just not common sense. It just comes out of nowhere. But man, that's the one thing about this learning curve, is that there's pretty much a label to do everything. Kind of like in the English language, like apples. If you were to hold one in your hand, you may call it an apple. Someone who speaks Spanish is going to call it manzana. So it's just a label. And this command, this -v, is just the same. It's a label, and it substitutes something. Just like in the case of calling it an apple or manzana, they're holding this, this apple that has, waxy skin on the outside and is crunchy or sweet and kind of hard to the bite on the inside. You know what an apple represents. This -v is kind of that same thing. It is referencing something more. In this case, it's referencing version. So when someone writes -v, that means they want the version of this download that you received. And again, it's just like if you were to come into an application or an app that you have on your computer, and you can do this on Windows, but it's going to look different and be called something different. But if you were to kind of get some information on, if you were to get some information on your file, in this case, my Thinkorswim, I would be able to even get information like, I believe maybe download, like version number. It may not give the UI. And that is also a reason why people use terminal, is because it gives a lot more information than this here does. Okay. At the end of the day, this is more close to code than the actual cute little icons and stuff. Like, no, someone had to substitute code. They had to replace code with these cute little icons. But if once you start getting into coding, you're going to want to have the code because it gives you a lot more data that you learn and that you have access to if you go straight to the source instead of this middleman. The middleman ain't got all the juice, like the plug over here. No. So Node-v means show me what version download that I have. Because again, in this computer science world, even when you're using your phone, there's different versions out. iPhone, they're on iPhone 14 now. And the iOS versions that you download at night, those are version numbers. So that's just like an example of a version. And so, why are we doing this? In order to confirm that I successfully downloaded Node onto my computer, is because once I press enter, if this gives me like a version number, some numbers, which I'm about to press enter now so we can see version 16.17.1, that tells me that yes, you have a download on your computer, and I was able to successfully find it under this node command or this node reference. And I checked your version number and it reads version 16.17.1. So if you did this on Windows, Mac OS, I don't know how y'all doing on Linux, but whatever magical powers, and you are able to get to this answer, and it's fine that if you have different numbers than me, that's perfectly okay. I expect you to even have different numbers than me, a good amount of y'all. As long as you have like a version number and not no like crazy errors all over your screen, like you'll see the errors. It'll be all up in here. And I can even like show y'all what the errors would look like. Let's do version on this. Well, for one, it didn't return a version number because I don't even have anything in my system called JIKGJ. So that's that. Alrighty, so Node successfully did download. I'm gonna do clear again because I just, I don't like all the commotion sometimes. I like a clear canvas. So you can do what you do. So next thing is one example I wanted to also show you with Node. And again, you would think it's called Node.js because that's what we keep reading over here, and that's what's in the URL up here. It's all Node.js and stuff. But if you actually go to docs, that's where you'll be able to see the different versions. And you're gonna, you get into this tech world, this coding world especially, you will be reading lots of documentation because that's kind of like like trying to build some furniture from IKEA. You gonna be pulling out them instructions for every one of them pieces, or at least you should. Now I know some of y'all will pull them instructions out and toss them right in the recycle bin without reading them. I know. I met a few. But you should look at that piece of instruction before you build that furniture. Because it could make for more efficiency. You can get done with building the furniture quick. You did it right, or you have a higher probability of doing it right because you read up ahead of time. There's so many advantages. But yes, one of the disadvantages is that it could take you a longer time to complete the project because you are having to stop, read the instructions, understand the instructions, and then test the instructions out and so forth. As to a person who's doing it off the cuff, intuitively, they may just dive in. And if they're really good with puzzles and problem solving, they might be able to just figure out how to build this piece of furniture without needing to read the instructions. But so this is kind of the same concept here. Me and Docs, we are BFFs. Anytime I see this on a website, this is probably my number 2 link that I will go to. I'll probably go to About and Docs. Okay. We be in the docs. Hey, we be in the dot. I should play some music, but I keep hearing that playing music will have you hitting into a whole bunch of copyright issues whenever you upload to platforms, social media platforms, whatever. I'm gonna take some more tea. Actually, I think I need to go refill my teacup because it is empty. Is there a pause on this thing? Okay. So I'm just going into, what version was I again? 16. All right. Alright, so you usually will find a usage and example section whenever you start reading like code documentation. There'll usually be something talking about a usage or example, and that's where I like to go most of the time. That's one of my first areas that I go to. And this is again just like the IKEA furniture example. This simply tells me, like, I guess you can think of it, the usage is going to tell me, like, this is what your product or my piece of furniture should look like at the end, and I may need a screwdriver to do it. So that's why I like to go to usage, because it gives me like a real quick, straight to the point example of how to get this project up and going pretty quick. Whereas the rest of the documents, they are very more like fine-tuned, like you're going for your master's and PhD, the way they be diving into it. Whereas the usage and example, it's like, nah, this is the too long, didn't read, straight to the, just cut straight to the point, you know? So that's why I like it. And that's that word terminal again. You guys can read this on your own. Again, I just went to my version, and then I went to the usage and example for my version. It may look different for y'all, but again, put on them investigative hats if you get stuck. Troubleshoot. And so here's some like code. It's kind of hard for me to call it code, but you know, it kind of is. So let's give a round of applause there. It's really a command, and it's telling it's kind of like I said, it's navigating through what we would normally do here with these cute icons. So all this is saying is basically hit the back button, this button right here. Okay, hit the back button till we get to projects. And this right here is saying create projects. So the same as if I went to new folder. That's the same equivalent as make directory and call it projects. This little squiggly sign, y'all gonna have to read that for yourself, okay? But it's essentially just telling you we want to start our navigation from our home, which for me, mine's called Chameleon. So that's just my street address, my home address right there. It's okay. So yeah, this is why I like the usage and the example section. They're telling me to create a new file inside of this new projects directory. Okay, go in here, create a new file. Or create a new folder called projects. And once I go into projects, create hello world.js. Okay, and you may ask, well, how do I create hello world.js? And so, again, because I am creating these videos for those who are coming into coding, I'm going to go into more detail about this later, but I will just do a quick overrun right now because I'll go into like IDEs a little bit later. Again, everything I go over, I'll make more videos in the future that'll explain them a lot more in depth. But for the sake of keeping this current video short, I'm just going to keep it kind of quick and just know like there'll be more materials about it later in future videos. Or if you want to get a head start, feel free to do some investigative work and see how you can create this new file. Because some people may not have that option up here, you know. I don't have that option up here to create a new file. I got an option to create a new folder. So it's like, well, how do you do that? Well, in Terminal, again, because Terminal is so, it's like way more powerful than this little GUI. But let me move this over right now since we're together these two. Since Terminal is a lot more powerful than this, I can do things like that. I can come into Terminal and I can create a folder. So what did it say? It said make directory and project. And they had the squiggly sign and whatnot. You can do that. Again, it's just telling you, it's just giving your computer instruction on where to create this folder at on your computer. I'm just going to do mine right here where I'm at. Okay. And look, I press enter and now it's back blank. So that whenever it comes back blank, it usually performed and successfully performed what you told it to do. So now I'm going to go back onto my computer, the Finder, the UI part. I'm going to go to Chameleonaire, which is my home, and I should now have a folder called Projects. Okay, Chameleonaire, and what do you know? Projects. Okay, now let me add a file into this projects because it said that, right? It said next create a new source file in the projects folder and call it helloworld.js. Okay, well, let's do that. So the command to do that would be, it's so interesting, but it's called touch. If you're on, okay, it's definitely two-time. If you're on Mac OS, it's going to be called touch. Okay. And I want to touch. Why? I'm sorry, but why is it called this? I don't like this label. Somebody in the comments, please tell me why they named it touch. But anyway, touch basically means create new file. Right. Create new file. I want you to put that file inside of my projects folder. Okay. Do a little slash because right now you're creating the address for it. It's just like a street, house number in the street. The street is essentially projects. What's the house number? The specific one is, it said call it hello world.js. Okay, so there's my address. Go to this street and go to this house number and create a new file. All right, press enter. And go back to where you are and boom, shaka, laka, laka, boom, shaka, laka, laka. Okay, anywho. Okay, let's come out. Open hello world.js in any preferred text editor and paste in the following content. Okay. So we're just going to copy and paste it. And there is an easier way to copy this, but just, you know, however you feel comfortable. Just get it done, you know what I'm saying? All right. It said open it up. Alright, so just to keep it real, keep it simple. I don't want to say the KISS one. That's a little harsh. But, so you want to open it up. You can open it up with your notes if you want to. If you have a text editor. Whatever you have in here. Maybe actually like try and avoid your internet browsers. But look at something that's more like note related. If it's Microsoft Office, then fine, open it. I don't think Microsoft Office opens these kind of files, these code files, JavaScript files, but if it lists it, shoot, go ahead for it. You could do notes, text edit, stuff like that, but I'm gonna keep it G. I like my Visual Studio Code because that's what we on, some professional stuff. And this is a code editor that's created by Microsoft, y'all. Alright, so I'm about to paste it in. Cool. And I'm not going to go over what it means in this video, just because, again, this is a usage and example section. And a lot of the times when I'm working on stuff, if it's especially more advanced things I've never used, I'm probably not even going to know or understand what all this stuff in the section means. If it's some technology I've never used, no. That's why I started right here, so I can know, okay, how the heck do you even, how do you work this thing? Show me. So a lot of times I don't even know what this stuff does. So that's why I'm not going to go over it, because it's really irrelevant. They're telling you how to make it. They said, just look, hey. They said, look, just copy all the code that I did for you and paste it in here, and it should work. Okay? They're giving you it on the low. And then, definitely though, we are going to catch up and figure out what this means, because you're going to have to know what it means in order to improve it, tweak it, make it do stuff that you want it to do. Just like when I got started with MySpace, which is how I got into this interest of HTML and CSS. And I wouldn't say I was really doing JavaScript, but I was using other people's JavaScripts. They would give me, stuff like this, and I would know where to inject that code at. But just like when I was on MySpace, if I wanted stars to fall down, or actually I did this on Black Planet. I don't know if any of y'all remember Black Planet, but I was on there and my page looked awesome and I had music playing and it was a whole vibe, okay? But yeah, anyway, so at one point I had stars, like cute little stars that would fall down on my page as soon as you landed on my page. And I wanted to change the color. I don't know, it could have been gold stars, and I wanted to change them to black or pink, right? And so basically, remember that code I was telling you that I would get online? Somebody else made the code for me, and I would just paste it in on Black Planet where they told me to put code to customize my page. I would just paste it in there. But if I wanted the black stars, I had to go into the code. I'm gonna make this bigger. I then had to go into my code and figure out where in the world they're talking about gold. It may say something like color equals gold, right? And I would see that and I'm like, oh, so what happens if I change this to black? And then I would save it and I would reload my page on Black Planet and them stars would start falling down and they would be black. And then I was like, oh man, okay. So it turned into this obsession with wanting to know what every single thing did. That way I can manipulate it to my liking. So that's what I want y'all to also get in the habit of, is like experimenting and understanding each line of code. Okay? There's going to be times where you're not going to even have time to do it because you got a deadline and stuff. But I really urge you to take the time to understand it because it will help you save time and you'll be able to really innovate. Be a lot more innovative because you understand the inner workings, okay? But anyway, so I saved it. You can see here, at least on Mac OS, I have a preview of my file and the contents. And you see here, it is the code that they gave me. It says save the file. It says go back to my terminal and enter the following command. Okay. Node hello world JS. All right. So now one thing about documentation is sometimes they can get a little. Okay, they did CD, right? CD, good job. Okay, they're in project. So you want to make sure like you're following instructions. So they told us to navigate inside of projects. Because I was just about to say, if you run this command from where I'm at in my terminal, it's going to say, girl, I don't got no hello world JS. And it would say that because I'm not at the right address right now. The address says hello world JS. You gotta be on this street. And I'm not on that street. I'm somewhere else. You can do PWD for me on Mac OS. It'll tell you what street I'm on. Again, these are just addresses. It will tell you I was on the. This is kind of like it kind of like it goes up scopes because, like I said, this is a house number. This is a street. This might be like the block. This might be like the neighborhood. Like So yeah, I'm on the street. Or it's really the next level up. So it's more like I'm on the block. Or, yeah, pretty much the block. Right now, this is where I'm at. So if I run that command, it's going to yell at me. It's not going to know. It's going to be on the block. And it's like, well, what you mean? Why you give me a house number? And make sure you guys don't have these typos like me. My gosh, because it's going to yell at you for that too. But, yeah, so if I run this command from the block that I'm on, it's like giving you a house number on a big, long mile block. It's like, this is not helpful. I need a street. Let's run it. See? This says a lot of stuff. I know it looks kind of overwhelming, That's how I feel. That's how I felt when I was reading this at first. When I was first getting started, I was like, what is all of this? But, over time, you learn that a lot of this is just repeated words. And then you got to look for what is the most dynamic or what's the words that are going to be changing a lot. So when I read these error messages, I've seen cannot find module 1,000 times. So now I know to just look, glance real quick at cannot find module, and it tells me I went to this neighborhood, I was on this block, and then you gave me a house number, and that'll make sense. So it's going to say, module not found. That's just saying, like, look, I couldn't find that house number on that block. You must have missed a step. So that's why they're saying to go to your projects, and then you run that command node. So now I'm inside of projects. You'll see here that my name now also has projects right here, and then it has a little percentage sign and all that cute stuff. That's because it's now telling me, hey, instead of you being, home, which is Chameleonaire for me, it's going to be different for you. Instead of being at the home base, the home block, you're now went to Project Street. So it just kind of tracks where I'm at. And people are going to have this in different colors. You might have this showing up as green. You might have it showing up as red or yellow. That's fine. Shoot, you may not have it showing up at all. But anyway, now I'm going to go ahead and run that. It's Node. Hello world. I'm going to show y'all some shortcuts and stuff along the way, because me typing this out is not the way to go. There's more like shortcuts and things we can use, but one thing at a time. So node hello world.js, because I'm already on that street called projects, I now can give you the house number or the file name, and it will now find it. And what it's doing here when I'm saying node, that again is like me coming up in here and saying double tap to launch my node application. So it's gonna double tap node, say open up node, and I want you to read my code, consume it, do all those things that we said Node did earlier on the video. Node is the one that, fetches resources. It reads your code. It, can also help store code. It can execute, different things. So, sorry, y'all. I got my little baby over here. You may hear him. All right, so node hello world.js, enter. Ooh, something's happening. Hopefully y'all are getting something similar like this, because if not, I don't know what to tell you. No, I'm playing. If not, again, you just have to do more investigative research. I know it kind of like, sometimes it may suck because it's like, man, I keep running into errors and I'm getting tired. Some of these errors take a while to track down, And maybe it just depends on your skill, your tech level skill. But sometimes it took me an hour just to figure out and overcome some of these errors. So that's the name of the game, though. I guarantee you, people who've been coding for 12 years sometimes get stumped on errors that take them like 2 days to figure out. So please don't feel like I should just quit right now because it's taking you so long to combat an error. That's just the name of the game. We all do it. We all go through it. We all grow through it. Okay, I'm gonna put the baby down and I'm gonna for real get some tea because my throat, oh my gosh.